when Bill Barr, who's, a coward, Bill Barr was a coward. Bill Barr didn't do what he was supposed to do. I fired him, and he has great hatred, and that's okay, because some people do, and some people love me very much. He didn't resign. I asked him, give me a letter immediately, because he didn't have the courage to go after so many different things, and you and I have discussed it before, but he was a coward. And he
sometimes, yeah.
But I have faith that good and decent people will make the right choice, and the circus will leave town before it contaminates the Oval Office.
If he wants to store material in a box in a bathroom, if he wants to store it in a box on a stage, he can do that. That is just what the law and the standard is.
I want to talk about cream toast, Kelly McEnany, and Trump's late night confession. Welcome to Videos After Dark.
For years, where it was very seriously classified. I have every right to have those boxes. This is purely a Presidential Records Act. This is not a criminal thing. The only way NARA could ever get this stuff, this back, would be please, 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 could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
Because they have no, we
they
were
did
talking.
Ask for it.
No. And
now, Trump said a lot of things last night.
Belabor this.
No, but when you look at
want to
this,
just get to the
other
specific.
presidents, when they leave, they take the papers. They have thousands and thousands. Obama had it, Nixon had it, Carter had
Their
it, the
argument
Bushes
is that
had
these
it.
are super sensitive national security documents.
All right, so here's, I'm sure you.
And a lot of pundits are saying, my God, look what he's done. He's confessed. Doesn't he realize this is all going to be used against him?
I don't want to dwell on it, but according to the indictment, you were here at Bedminster on July 21st, 2021, after you're no longer president, and you were recorded saying that you had a document detailing a planned attack on another country that was prepared by the U.S. military for you when you were president. The Iran attack plan. You remember that?
Ready?
You were recorded.
It wasn't a document.
Okay.
I had lots of paper.
Hello? Of course he realizes that. This is what he always does. He confesses the crime. And then he says, what do you mean a conspiracy? What do you mean a crime? I told everybody what I was doing. I thought it was okay. That's what's happening here.
Quote, you're quoted on the recording saying the document was secret, adding that you could have declassified it while you were president, but, quote, now I can't. You know this is still secret, highly confidential. The indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this, on tape,
it says just the opposite.
That you can't declassify it, so why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify.
And that's what you said. You didn't.
I said that.
It always works for him.
I said no. I said I couldn't.
But that
wasn't a document, Brett. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things.
The recording and the people in the room who testified.
These people are very dishonest people. They're thugs.
And the fact that nobody can see that makes me want to fucking lose my shit!
These are thugs.
The suggestion was that you wanted this as evidence that the military, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Milley, had preemptively sent you plans for a possible attack on Iran and that you didn't order that to happen. That's the suggestion.
I never ordered it to happen, no.
But that's why you wanted the document.
I don't think I've ever seen a document from Milley. Milley, frankly, was incompetent. The last one I'd want to attack with as my leader would be Milley. That I can tell you.
All right, last thing on this.
What in the fuck is the matter with you people?
You know, the press is having a field day of saying there were documents in a bathroom at Mar-a-Lago, and it's an absolute double standard.
I would love to see Donald Trump go to jail. But that's never going to happen. I would love to see Donald Trump be held accountable. But that's never going to happen.
Fought in the courts.
It's already been fought.
All right.
There's a decision strongly that you can keep. But I wouldn't have kept. But they raided my house. They came in and raided. We were discussing, having very good discussions with NARA, a radical left group, by the way, and all of a sudden my house got raided.
Do you know if you still have any highly sensitive government documents?
No, I don't have anything, no.
Okay.
But what I'm concerned about, they took everything, right? I don't know what they took. They could be stuffing it. I don't know what they put in there. And we wanted to be there when they were taken. They wouldn't let anybody in the room. They've never treated a president like this.
This whole deal about weaponization. Oh, look, the FBI's been after him from the beginning. My fucking ass. They investigated Hillary twice for the same thing, and one of them they announced it 11 days before the damn election. Go fig. This is all fucking bullshit.
Mike Pence had documents that were classified.
And he turned them over.
No, he didn't turn them over. He got caught. His lawyers found some documents, and then he turned them over. Why did he have them? He shouldn't be saying that because he had classified documents. And immediately they said, oh, that's okay.
When push comes to shove, he'll spend the rest of his life at Mar-a-Lago, trying to push 40 cheeseburgers out of his damn poop chute. Hopefully he'll die on the damn toilet.
100 times.
You're not worried about this case?
Based on the law, zero. Zero. Presidential Records Act, plus the Clinton case, which was won by Clinton as president because he took tapes of leaders in his socks. Zero.
Okay.
Zero. And every good lawyer has said it, and you've seen that. Every good lawyer has said that.
There are 33 bathrooms at Mar-a-Lago. So don't act like it's just in some random bathroom that the guests can go into. That's not true.
I'm sure he already has some kind of a prearranged thing where Don Jr. comes in and pulls him off the toilet. I wonder how much cocaine that would take. Don't worry, Don Jr. has plenty.
Obviously, there are others
what
who push back. And then,
this was a weaponization of politics. This was a weaponization of the White House. This was a horrible thing. They go out and they weaponize. This is a horrible thing that was done.
Well, let's talk about the politics.
It's never been
It's a
done.
good picture to have boxes in a garage that opens up all the time. A bathroom door.
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
Which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And in
but
all
why not
fairness,
just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to Nara yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've been
according to
very,
the
very
indictment,
busy.
you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out.
You know, believe it or not, Charlie Sheen has a very interesting perspective on this motherfucker.
And I know you're not a fan.
I'm really not. I'm really not. At dinner with my ex-wife Brooke and her family and this and that. And about halfway through, I noticed Donald staring at my watch.
You guys are throwing up the pictures about they were in a bathroom or they were on a stage. As somebody who's been to Mar-a-Lago, you just can't walk through Mar-a-Lago of your own accord because Secret Service is all over the place.
You say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way to win her back.
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
Sorry, I can't make your wedding. And I'm like, I didn't invite you. So he says, but I want to give you an early wedding gift as a gesture from me and Melania. And she doesn't say a word. She's very sweet and very pretty, but just kind of sits there, you know?
Little tidbit, we now know why the special prosecutor has been working with the National Archives. It's because they've been forced to. According to the Washington Post, the FBI specifically refused to investigate anyone in the Trump administration related to January 6th for more than a year.
But that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence agents.
There were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread
We're trying to get recounts, real
There were
recounts, not just numbers of votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits.
They were too busy getting all those little fuckers who couldn't defend themselves, you know, regular people who were stooped into this bullshit.
So he says, these are Platinum Diamond Harry Winston. And he pulls off his cufflinks and he gives them to me and And so I'm like, oh, gosh, Mr. Trump, you really shouldn't do this. He goes, no, it's the least I can do.
There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged.
But the people who can actually afford liars, guess what? They're getting to walk.
And, have a great marriage and all that. Little did he know.
In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people. Vice President Mike Pence is running against you.
Yeah.
Your ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain.
Because that's how he do.
You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock. And your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, McEnany, milquetoast. And multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife.
I have no sympathy for the bitch whatsoever. She knew what she fucking signed up for. This guy's a piece of shit. And now she hopes to have some kind of integrity. Please, bitch. You're a cunt and a liar. And you've been caught lying. And now your little benefactor has shown his true colors to even you, little cream toast.
So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS.
Huh. I know. Because Kelly McEnany, in those executive time moments, was his little breakfast cream. Or maybe he gave her the breakfast cream. Anyway, maybe it's just a nice little pet name around the office that means nothing. Let's take a look at her again. Yeah. No, she definitely got the job for merit. Definitely.
6 months later, I had some jewelry getting appraised at the house, and she finished and was leaving, and I said, oh yeah, there's another couple of pieces that I have that I'm very curious about. Would you mind appraising these?
And in regard to January 6th, the agents were specifically told they were not allowed to investigate anyone Trump-related until there was sufficient evidence. Let me say that again. The Federal Bureau of Investigations would not investigate the obvious culprit until they had enough evidence.
She said, no, what are they? I said, well, I explained the dinner and this and that. These are from Donald Trump, Harry Winston, flawless D's, platinum. She took the loop, spent about 4 seconds, and kind of recoiled from it, much like people do from Trump.
When it's a Democrat, my God. When it's a Republican, now you're fine. And I guarantee that's what's gonna happen here.
So she says, in their finest moment, this is cheap pewter and bad zirconias.
This is how Trump does. He plays the fool. Well, I was just following the advice of my lawyers. Well, that lawyer quit. Oh, and that lawyer had to fire. But I was following their advice.
And they're stamped Trump. And I just thought, what does this really say about the man? That he said, here's like a great wedding gift, and it's just a bag of dog shit,
And like a Charlie Sheen wedding gift for a marriage that was never meant to be. Donald Trump gave us something shiny, to be sure. Had his fucking name on it and everything. But it was just a piece of shit. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy.